Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Monday call. If there's someone that I did not recognize, please shout out. As usual, tell me what's going on in your business. Good news. If it's good news in your life, I'll take that too, because we all need positive stuff. Who's first? Jump in. The water's fine.
I'll just go first since you said my name last. So I
Okay.
had a couple. I had a couple of open houses for the two mobile homes on Saturday. The first one was a little bit earlier. It was 10 to 12, so I only had like two people show up. The second one was like 1:30 to 3:30, and then I had like a taco person there. That one had a little more traffic. That one had maybe like eight people come, and then a couple of the neighbors come over too. So that one was pretty positive. I have one lady I followed up with yesterday that wanted to put in a cash offer. She just wanted me to get her some paperwork about like the land lease increases of the last 5 years. So I'm gonna go today to the park and try to ask the manager to see if they, because I asked the owner. He said he's been living there since 2019. No, he's had the property since 2019, or he's bought and sold properties there since 2019, and that it used to be 980 and now it's 1,200. So it's gone up like $40 a year. But I want to get that like hopefully in writing. If not, then I'll let her know that I told her that it's gone up like about 5 to 7% each year, but she just wants to see it in like in actual writing. So I think I'm gonna write up the offer for her too. So if she does put in an offer, so I would have to write a contract to be her buyer agent as well. I had one of the neighbors come. He has a fifth wheel. Said that he wanted to look for a different place that just has a bigger lot. So I was gonna follow up with him today too to see if, since I'm gonna go back there just to see if he wants me to look for places for him. And then yesterday went to Pomona and put in an offer for a home for another family that I'm looking for. I got an email back today from the agent. He said it's too low, but he was going to send a counter. So hopefully that works out well.
Good for you. Hey, you got 10 buyers in 2 days. That's a good, that's a good activity.
Yeah.
Good for you. Congratulations. Who else out there has something good to share?
I'm Claudia. I've got my listing is clearing all contingencies tomorrow. Can't wait.
Yes. Congratulations, Claudia. You're on fire too, by the way. Thank you very much. Who else? Tell me something good.
I'll
Can I
share one.
pitch? Can I pitch a listing?
You can do whatever you want.
I have a 1 bedroom, 1 bath condo in Santa Ana that is just sitting there still, and I need to move it. It is a 2 bedroom, 1 bedroom, 1 bath listed at 397. It's off of Bristol and Civic Center. So if you guys are out there in Santa Ana, Orange County, help me. It's 365 North Bristol, and it's on the MLS. Help me. It's also available vacant for open houses if anybody wants to sit on it
Okay.
any day, weekends.
Man, 1 bedroom, 1 bath for 400,000. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Congratulations.
I need
John, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Johnny,
yeah. So I this weekend I took out a home seller. I was listing his property. He has some funds, and I actually took him to see a $1.3 million home and a $2.3 million home. So what we decided to do was go with the $1.2 million home and invest his other $2 million in a spec house, which he wants to 50-50 with me, but I think that's a little too much. So I think if he just gives me like a quarter plus lets me sell the home, I think I'll be happy with that. So hopefully all this goes through. It's all in the air right now, and it's gonna get finalized this week. So I'm pretty excited about that because I've been working my butt off in that luxury realm, and I'm hoping that it's gonna pay off.
good for you. 1.2, that's a nice check. Thank you. Good for you. Who else? Come on. I'll call on you.
I've got a couple connections going on the team. We've got a listing coming up in Lemoore in a couple weeks for the team.
Michael, can you raise the camera on your
Like that?
there you go.
There we go. So I got a listing coming up in Lemoore in a couple weeks for the team. Also have one of my team members that's pretty much brand new that just got is taking his buyer out, just got him pre-qualified, so I'm excited about that. And then through some partnerships and everything, I'm talking to an agent up in your area, Frank, that we may be able to do a co-listing down here, which would be pretty nice. So trying to get all the details ironed out on that, but should be a pretty good one down in a good area. So
How much is that one?
I'm right around 3 million, 3.2 is
Oh,
what
poor you.
right.
Poor
So
you.
right. So that's a
Good.
good thing. So
Good activity. Good job, Michael. Okay, Aria,
thank
I
you.
know you got something to share.
Well, last week in our Toastmaster club, my own club, we had our competition for speakers. So I took the first place. I'm advancing to a division. So that's a good thing. That's basically how the worldwide champions are being made. If you get lucky, you go to all the levels. So certainly I'm happy to represent our club. If any of you would like to improve public speaking presentation, I'm coaching a club online the second Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday of every month. If you're interested, just shout out and connect with me, and I would help you to get it for $60 for 6 months is the lowest price that you pay to improve your public speaking presentation. We all, as realtors, are presentation driven nowadays, and how you represent your client, how you be able to connect with your audience, it makes all the difference. So if you need the information on that. But real estate related, I want to bring something in contrast to Rosa, because I have a 4-bedroom, 2-bath for 450. So that's gonna show you the difference between Santa Ana and Sacramento, pretty much. So you depends on your budget, you can leave somewhere in between. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you, Aria. Thank you. Who else?
I can pitch another listing if anybody wants.
Of course you can.
Okay, this one is not my listing, but I'm helping out. It's Robert Valencia, which is also part of the team. Robert Valencia has a beautiful equestrian home listed in Simi Valley. We've been running open houses there, and it's a beautiful, beautiful property. It's off of Carefree in the Bridle Path community in Simi Valley. It's listed at 1.798, and it's a beautiful, beautiful home. It's a nice paycheck. They are cooperating, so help us out.
Okay.
It is also
Rosa, you're in Santa Clarita, right?
I'm in Santa Clarita and the San Fernando Valley.
San Fernando Valley. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. It's hard keeping track of where everybody is. I try. Okay. Is there anybody else before we get into the nuts and bolts?
What is the address on that, Rosa?
The address on Carefree is, I have it here. Let's see. Carefree is 922 Carefree Drive, Simi Valley. It's a beautiful home.
How far is that from the Reagan Library?
Around the corner, really close by.
Okay.
It's really close to the Wood Ranch area, if anybody's familiar with. Like it's off of First Street. So if you get off on First Street, you actually literally go around and end up in Wood Ranch area of Simi Valley.
Okay.
On the west side.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Going once, going twice. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today. I'm going to be short. It's going to be a short call because I know you're busy, but I wanted to give you my thoughts. I just got back from Cabo. I did go to One Big Fire, and I should be putting out, excuse me, the links on the Winner Circle to where you can hear the speakers. I got to be honest with you. I wasn't really pumped about going. Forgive me, but as you get older, I try to travel less and less because I'm so damn set in my ways. You know, hotel coffee is just the worst. Hotel food is just the worst. You know, I can sit here and think of all the excuses and everything, but I have to tell you, the Hotel Ziva, first class, man, it's beautiful. And you guys saw some of my pictures. It was 70 degrees on the beach. And I know here where I live in Sacramento, it was storming and raining and windy. I don't know what you guys had in LA, but I heard it wasn't that good either. So I'm just going to say two names, Gary Brecka and Ed Mylett. Ed Mylett made me cry through his whole speech. And once you listen to him, you'll understand why. He said something very interesting. I've always looked up to Ed Mylett. If any of you don't know who he is, you should look him up. And hang on just a minute. I've been reading his book twice.
Mylett.
Mylett. And this is the second time I'm reading his book, and it's this right here. Can you guys see it?
No.
It's called The Power of One More by Ed Mylett. Chris, if you could find it, put it in the chat. This guy started or was with a company called WFG, and I know that a lot of you are more familiar about this industry than me. It's insurance, selling services. Him and his partners sold it for a boatload, hundreds of millions of dollars. He's very wealthy, but now he's a motivational speaker. He has his own jet. He's got all these cars. He lives at Laguna Beach. I've become a fan of his. And he said something from stage that really took me back. Recently, he purchased an island somewhere up in Maine. And I don't know, he didn't say how much the island was, but it cost him $8 million just to use the barges to bring material to the island, just so he could start building his homes and everything else. And he found a group of men that were veterans that lived on the island who liked to deer hunt. Now, I'm not saying deer hunt is good or bad. I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't shoot animals. I'm not a proponent. I'm just telling you the story for context. And what he found is these group of veterans, missing arms, missing legs, they all fought in the Korean War. And there's a point to this. Let me get to it. He says all the jets and all the cars and the houses are really nice, but when you can lead a group of veterans to do something worthwhile and they devoted their life to Christ, he says that was more rewarding to me than all the big mansions, all the Lear jets, everything else. And the whole place, I'm telling you, every woman and man were just crying. It was something else. I can't wait for you to hear his speech. And it's the first time I've ever heard a speaker. He was talking to the audience, and all of a sudden he fixed his eyes on one guy. He says, "Hey, you, get off your phone." He called him out on it. Get off your phone. And everybody was just taken back because I've never seen that before. He goes, "I'm worth about $2 billion and I'm giving you advice and you're on your phone? Really?" Everybody was just in shock. But at the end of his speech, he went back and told him, "Look, I got mad because I think you're better than what you are. And I love you. And I believe in you." So he made it right, but it shocked. I have never seen that done ever. But you got to watch the video just for that one point. But Gary Brecka, now you have to understand, both these speakers had nothing to do with real estate, but everything to do with life. Okay. Gary is a human biologist. He was hired by insurance companies to look over policies and look over blood work to find out when their clients were going to die. Just that statement alone stops me in my tracks, because I do my blood test, I give it to him, and he'll say, "Oh yeah, you'll be dead in 5 years because of this. Well, Brent has a relationship with him, and he was dropping bombs like you can't believe. We were doing breath work on the beach at sunrise. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. Life-changing. Anyway, those were just a couple of things for me that were highlights, other than all the other speakers that really invested in their time, all the groups that were there. And the one thing about the Hotel Ziva is you never have to go outside of the resort. And for some people, I know that's a concern in Mexico, but of course you get the young people that want to go to Cabo Wabo, where Jimmy Buffett started his restaurant. And I guess there's a place there called The Office, and The Office is just a party town. Now, truth be told, it was spring break, and all I heard was 20-year-old girls, 20-year-old guys walking around. Of course, I had no desire to go do that because it's just tough walking around the big resort. But I must say, if you ever get a chance to to go to one big fire, it's definitely worth it. Leo Perez spoke about LPT. He spoke about Real with the sudden news about the CEO has stepped down. Now, he hasn't left the company. He stepped down from his position. And now Compass is in talks to acquire Berkshire Hathaway. I would never thought that I would hear that. Okay. That is huge news. And we knew that this year, 2025, was going to be a year of acquisitions and mergers. And folks, that's what's happening. And he just looked at the crowd and goes, folks, you don't have to worry about a thing because we ain't going nowhere. So everybody repped into a roar, applause, everything else, the stability, to be agile. I'll tell you, Berkshire Hathaway, if they get an offer from Compass, they should probably do it. But I just feel sorry for all the agents that have given their loyalty to Berkshire Hathaway, the agents that have given their loyalty to Keller Williams. You guys heard about Keller Williams, where Gary Keller sold 50% of the stock to Stone, somebody help me, Stone Plate, I don't know, investment. But I used to be a stock owner in KW and I'd be pissed.
Stone Point.
Thank you, Michael. Stone Point Investments. And you see this whole shift in this industry of moving positions. It's like we're all playing either chess or checkers. And I'm just so glad Leo Perez is at the helm. I really am. So, folks, there's a bunch of people moving. There's people that I never thought that I would see move from their companies. So just try to get into relationship with folks. Be nice. Man, the stories you heard from stage about somebody you meet and there was a story about this guy met someone on the beach, wasn't an EXP. And the lady says, I would give anything for a dolphin pendant. The guy runs to the gift shop, gets a dolphin pendant and gives it to her. Okay. That's stuff like that we're not doing as realtors. And you're going, come on, Frank, all I'm interested in is just closing deals and put food on my table for my family. But it's stuff like that is going to get you those clients, that it's just like at Nordstrom on steroids. And I know a lot of you folks deal with all your SOI and your contacts and your sphere, but I want you to just take a step back and listen instead of trying to think of the next thing to say to people. I love observing people where somebody says, oh yeah, my family lives down in the Baja. And then the next person will say, oh yeah, I got a family, instead of saying, where do they live down in the Baja? What made them go there? You go, how should I say, go deeper, 5 levels. Okay. It's just stuff like that. Does anybody have any questions for me as far as one big fire or anything that you saw on the internet, social media that you're curious about?
Frank, I have a question.
Go.
I know Spring Benson moved from Real, and she had a 3,200 downline from Real, and she was big. She wanted to be the Brent of Real, and I see her that she moved to EXP. I'm sure that she spoke at One Big Fire, right? Did she speak?
Absolutely, she did.
So what was, if you have maybe a 5-minute, 2-minute synopsis, what was her dialogue? I mean, I know there's some behind the scenes stuff with her husband's company, Sisu, that EXP acquired, but did she give any insight of her move and what Real was doing?
Well, funny thing about Sisu, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but I think I mentioned this last week. Tom Ferry is part owner, and Tom Ferry was supposed to speak at One Big Fire, and 3 days before he canceled. For whatever reason, it did not go over well with Brent. I don't know what happened. I'm not spreading any gossip. It's just that he was scheduled to speak. So Spring talked in his place. She had 3,500 people at Real. Now, she didn't say she brought all 3,500 back.
She didn't. No, she didn't.
Yeah, she's kind of starting over from scratch. But when you have somebody like Spring, who's a big hitter, I'm sure she's going to be up and running soon. And her goal, matter of fact, she's doing One Big Fire for her team this week somewhere in Utah. And
her big one is spring break, she calls it. She calls
spring
it
break. Yeah, but I got to meet her. Nice lady. She's on fire though. Man, she looks right through you, laser dagger eyes. And she goes, how long you been in? And what have you been doing? I mean, she just went right at me. And to be honest, I love people that I talk to like that. I mean, some people would just turn and run and hide. And I love that stuff. You know, I'll never forget Tom Ferry said one thing to me when I went to go coach with him. He walked right up to me and goes, I'm Frank. He goes, I'm Tom. He goes, let me ask you something, Frank. Are you living at your level 10 today? That's the first thing he said to me. And I never forgot that because I said, damn, no, I'm not. He goes, why aren't you? And that always stuck with me about Tom Ferry. But yes, spring was there. Leo tore it up. I'm first time I've ever heard him speak live. Okay. But 1,500 people, can't say enough about it. I think the part with me is that at 9 o'clock at night, a lot of us were sitting around the fire pit on the ocean, like 72 degrees, shorts, t-shirts, and we were all talking about the business. To me, that's my favorite part. Next year, for those of you interested, thank God it's a straight one-way shot from Sacramento to Cabo. And I got to tell you guys something. I don't know if you know, but last Monday I made the decision to go and I looked at my passport, 2 to 6 weeks to get your passport. I made a phone call that I knew somebody and I had it Friday morning. It came in 3 days. Did it cost me some money? Yes. Yes, it did. But I got it in 3 days. And if you guys need that connection, just let me know. It was just amazing. Okay, next question.
Frank, this is Arya. One of the things that I was reading, and I just want to relate it because it's important. State Farm just got approved for a 22% insurance increase. On April 8th, there is a hearing. Some of the insurance companies, they are struggling to stay in California. And of course, if they leave, it has a devastating impact on real estate. So EXP being a big game changer, is there any conversation in place at EXP Holdings to purchase an insurance company or having shares so that now we would be able to offer our buyers and sellers an insurance that pretty much is competitive, because that's going to really drastically change the landscape of real estate? And why we not actually getting in that? What is our big differentiation with LPT, with Real, with all of this? We need to really get this bull by the horn and really shake it, where now the distinction is massive. It's just not talk. It's like massive industry changes. What are we going to do about that? That's what I want to hear. Back to you.
Well, Arya, thank you for the question. And you're going to be very disappointed in my answer. I have no idea. That is way above my pay grade. And I think, Arya, being that you're so passionate and you eloquently asked that question, I think you should get on Workplace and ask Glenn Sanford, because he will answer you. That's the only thing I've got. I'm sorry. I feel very bad because you asked me a great question and I don't have an answer for you. But it's
I would
bad.
see you on Thursday. I see you on Thursday at Brent's event, right?
Very briefly, I have a pest inspection at my new listing, but very briefly.
Brief is better than nothing. Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
What
Anybody
is
else?
Yes, what is LPT?
That's a competitor to us. They just got their license to do business in California about 4 to 5 months ago. They started in Florida. It seems to be the hottest ticket on the planet as far as where everybody's going. And I think you should look it up for your own benefit. Everybody is running to the cheaper model now. It is cheaper, along with a lot of other companies. Do you guys know that EXP was the first cloud-based business? Now there's 27.
Yeah.
There's 27 competitors. But the thing that bothers me the most, and I think I said it on my Fridays with Frank, how come our competitors don't show their financials like we do? Why? Don't you want to know what kind of company you're investing in? I mean, we have, I think, 22 million in cash reserves, but I know Remax, where I used to work, they never let their agents see the financials. Keller Williams does. They do have a financial, the ALC gets to see it, but LPT doesn't. Compass doesn't, but EXP shares everything, and transparency is key. So, but LPT is definitely, oh, believe me, all the people in my group have been called. If you haven't, just wait your turn. You will be. I get called every week and they ask me why I don't come over. And I go, well, if you can send me a $12,000 to $15,000 check every month for rev share, then maybe I'll talk to you. But until then, have a nice day. Bye-bye. So yeah, they're something else. They really are. I'm not going to say anything good, not going to say anything bad, but people are looking for options. They are.
Last week, Frank, I got a call and it says, Arya, you missed my birthday. Where are you? We are at X. Come and join my party. Of course, I was in the area. I knew the person very well. He's a mover and shaker in our area. And I said, great, I would stop by. It's close by. And I went there and was a party of the company for recruiting purposes. But I was like bait and switched. And I said, really? Is that like we have to call it a birthday and then go? The good thing is I won a bottle of wine. Apparently it was $100. So maybe I get to join with you. But the thing is like I felt like that's kind of like deceiving when you have to go to a meeting and somebody that invites you, he's a high caliber, would say, come to my birthday. And then of course there is great food and hospitality. And I've seen a lot of people in my town with that, but it's just interesting. But at the end of the day, I think the best player, the best game always wins. One thing you mentioned about 27, I did note that we have cloud-based real estate companies, but this is the good thing about EXP. EXP owns actually Werbella, and Werbella was the first company that actually has that technology. And Glenn, our CEO, he's a visionary, and he has purchased that. So we, as the EXP holding, we all shareholders, we owning part of Werbella, and anybody that wants to get in that game, they have to pay a royalty to Werbella, which is our company. So we own technology, and that's why I know that Glenn would actually go and conquer and create solution. At the best, we are a solution provider. We individually to our client, as well as also as a company. And the company that really has the innovation, the technology, the drive, and will be able to solve more challenges in the future would be dominating it. How they're going to do it, that's basically up to the visionaries. But we as the individual, as Frank said, what is the client concern? I had a client last week that came from the Bay Area, purchased a home here many years, referred me a client that we just closed, and we were there celebrating. And she said, oh my God, I didn't know how fast the grass is growing in my backyard. And it was tall. I mean, it was really almost to my chest. I mean, very, very. And she said, do you know someone to do it? Well, yesterday I was there almost like 8 hours working my butt. I had all the equipment, but I pretty much just cleaned it out. And she said, oh my God, how much do I owe you? I said, you know what, just thinking of me, thank you so much. And she was like, oh my God. So that's exactly what Frank was talking about. But the thing is, this is on a smaller scale. As a company, how do we solve the challenges of the future? That's how we're going to become relevant. That's what we're going to conquer. And then people would not leave just because they're getting a box of cookies, but people leave because another company solves their problems. Hopefully we can solve that. Back to you.
Very good, Arya. Very good. Does anybody else have anything before I make my closing remarks? Okay. There was something that I put on the Winner Circle this morning. It has to do with a new platform of payment. I have no idea how this works, but I just workplace the guy who's running it to see if he can come on a couple of Mondays and explain this. It's a payment process. I mean, I don't know how easier it can be. I have my $85 deducted out of one account, the same account as where I get my income. Okay. Now they're improving. All I know is that the way future is going to be built with the strongest real estate companies is going to be tech and AI. Those are going to be the strongest companies. And I feel good about where we're at. So I'll let you guys know, but read that. A lot of you are smarter than me. Michael, this goes right to you. I know you can figure it out, but I'm going to have the guy who's starting it come on and talk about this because it's just another added value. Okay. All right, you guys. Anything else before we sign off?
No, thanks. Thanks for another great week.
Yeah.
Thank
You
you,
guys have
Frank.
a great week. You guys have a great week. And remember, are you at level 10 today? Are you
Always.
at level 10? I love that. Always love that. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you
Thank
next
you.
Monday.
All right, take
Bye.
care.
Bye-bye.